DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hey, welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. Happy holidays. We are 7 days from Christmas, 8 days from Christmas, 7 days from Christmas Eve. Just had the Wonderful Life Festival in Seneca Falls, and you know, we're in the thick of it now. So hopefully your prep's going well and your plans are set and your shopping's done and the presents are wrapped. But a fun week to be here in the Finger Lakes, and it certainly has been wintry around here this holiday season so far with snow on the ground, which tends a little unusual for us actually in recent years. I'm Jim Senecropi inside the FingerLakes1.com studios here in Seneca Falls, and today we welcome Alex Schnoeller. He's the new general manager at the Lake House on Canandaigua. It's a place I've been several times for dinner at the Rose Tavern or for drinks at the library. It's one of the premier resort hotels in the region, so we'll talk about his new role, what makes the Lake House so special, especially during the winter, and a whole lot more. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by Weston Company Diamonds and Jewelry. Weston Company Diamonds and Jewelry is a full-service family-owned jewelry store serving Auburn and the surrounding communities. Check them out online at westandcompany.com or stop in and browse their selections at 10 Genesee Street in downtown Auburn. Weston Company, crafting fine jewelry since 1982, and a great stop if you're looking to fill out the Christmas list and you're worried about something arriving on time. Just take a drive in downtown Auburn and they'll have plenty of options for that special someone on your list. And also, another place you can fill out your shopping list, Blush by CV Designs, a woman-owned business in the heart of the Finger Lakes, offering women's clothing and accessories, quality home goods, and unique gifts. See what everyone's talking about by visiting their location in downtown Seneca Falls, or browse all their products online at shopcvdesigns.com. And I got to stop down there. We're hosting Christmas Eve this year, and I got to stock up on some of their candles. They have incredible candles. I'm going to get some pine-scented candles, and when I'm in there, something else might catch my eye because I do have a couple more people to buy for. So there's a couple options here as we're a week before Christmas, local options where you can find some great gifts. So happy now to welcome in Alex Schnoeller. He's the new general manager at the Lake House on Canandaigua. Alex, thanks for taking the drive to Seneca Falls this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning. I'm grateful to be in the show, and thank you for being here.
So you took over on this new role November 3rd, so still fresh. Give everybody, our viewers, kind of background of where you were born and how you came into hospitality and your professional work history that led you here to Canandaigua.
Yeah, actually, as you can tell from my accent, originally I'm from Austria, so it's nice to be back in the cold. I went to hotel school in Austria and then kind of started my career as a bartender, server, joined a larger international hotel company called Mandel Rental for 13 years and was lucky enough to work with them a little bit around the globe. I was in for me, coming out of a small town, some pretty fancy destinations like Las Vegas, Hawaii, spent some time in Asia with them. And then in 2005, I came back to the United States, originally to Washington, D.C., and then I worked in several destinations in the United States, such as Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, Nashville. I was in Miami.
Wow.
Down all the way almost in South Beach. And then actually my last job before I came here was a little further north from Miami. It was in Delray Beach, Florida, which is a beautiful destination right between Boca Raton and West Palm Beach.
So you've been around the globe. That's pretty impressive, all those destinations, multiple continents. And So what led you here to the lake house?
Well, so there is an ownership relation between the hotel I worked with in Florida and the lake house in Canandaigua. And, as you grow your career, it's always great to know who you work for. Makes a big difference depending on, who the owners are. And it was a very productive relationship in Florida. And so I wanted to continue to work with the same ownership group, which was is an exciting change for me.
So you mentioned Austria, born in Austria.
Yep.
So this weather is probably mild.
Actually, I'm originally from the eastern Austria, all the way near Hungary. It doesn't get quite as cold.
Okay.
It's more known for their wine. But I've been, mostly in warmer climates now for my last 3 years. So my wife and myself are very excited of, having some real winter again.
Interested in, born in Austria, this career has led you to all the places you mentioned, Asia, Nashville, Miami, DC, Hawaii, Las Vegas. When did you know that you wanted to make a career out of this? You mentioned you started in hospitality as a bartender. How did you go from, that to general manager of the lake house and all these other places?
Yeah, it was really, I really wanted to become a chef.
Okay.
And so I started to go to hotel school. I don't have any hotel background with the family. So it was kind of just a passion I had when I was a kid, cooking with my grandmother, cooking with my mother. And, as I went to the hotel school, as opportunities came along, I didn't quite plan on spending really most of my life in foreign countries. But as the opportunities came along, I started to focus more on the front of house, again, service, managing restaurant, managing bars, becoming F&B director, and then just slowly working myself up through general manager. I feel lucky. This job or this profession became my passion when I was very young, and I kind of never really lost the passion. So it's exciting to be, it just keeps me going. It's great energy.
It's great to do something you love,
Yeah.
and clearly it's something you have a passion for. Interesting that you started interested in cooking and food, and it sounds like you had that influence from your mother and grandmother. I mean, I feel the same way. I had an Italian grandmother and a Dutch-Irish grandmother, and they both were amazing cooks. And I was fortunate enough back when they were still alive to be able to ask them, what are you doing there? How do you make that? Because I've always had an interest as well in cooking. And also, restaurants, I love going out to eat and seeing the different way things are done and the different types of food that you can eat. So, that's definitely cool that something from your childhood in Austria has kind of propelled you into this profession that's brought you all across the world.
Yep. It's been, you don't always plan it as you get to know people. You work with managers around, different destinations. You get the phone call. Hey, do you want to join me in this hotel? When I came back from Asia, it was really more of a relationship I had with the previous general manager, and that's how I ended up back in Washington, D.C. So a lot of it in this industry is relationship-based.
Sure.
My current, if I would say or the person I'm reporting to, it's the third hotel I'm working with him.
Okay.
So it's often a relationship you build with someone, and that just leads to different opportunities.
So you came to Canandaigua November 3rd.
Yep.
Obviously starting the winter season, and so here in the Finger Lakes, obviously, summers are great on the lakes. Fall's amazing with the foliage and the harvest at the wineries, and spring's always a nice relief around here when things start getting warm. But there's something special about our region in the winter too, and so the lake house, as I've gone, I like to go to the lake house, go to the library and have a few drinks, then dinner at the Rose Tavern, or sometimes a few drinks at the library, then a short walk over to Nolan's. It's a great little area down there, for sure. But I've always been impressed with how awesome it is in the winter. The fires are going out back, the steam's coming off the pool, the library's cozy, the tavern's cozy. So just talk a little bit about, I guess, what what's going on this winter and this holiday season at the lake house.
Yep. So I think so. I agree with you. I've been here in the summer once before, and then I was here in October, and then I started here in November, and I've seen a little bit of different season. But I think that's really the beauty of the region. I think, as you shift from the busy season to the winter season, it becomes really more like a romantic getaway.
Yes.
Right? You mentioned some key elements, I think, that create this amazing atmosphere, such as, a pool being open all year round, with a hot tub that's open all year round, right? We have several venues. Besides the library bar, we also have the villa room that has a fireplace, right? So there's all this, I think, these little romantic niches where you can just come and relax. We have a spa that's open 7 days a week, right? So it becomes really more of a getaway destination for someone who wants to avoid the hustle and bustle of a busy time, of a busy area.
Yep.
And lots of our programming in the winter is really targeted to what the resort has to offer in the winter, or the region has to offer in the winter. For instance, obviously we have all the celebrations for holidays. We had the last Sundays, we had breakfast with Santa. Okay. So we have one more Sunday to go, which is obviously this weekend, 9. There's one breakfast at 9 a.m. and then the other one at 11 a.m. has been very popular with locals.
Then Santa's got to get back to the North Pole.
So he's got to better bring the presents, right? We have obviously a Christmas Eve dinner with a specific menu that's tied to Christmas treats. We have a New Year's Eve dinner in Rose Tavern. That's a set menu with choice items, with 4 courses that we start at 5 p.m. We actually mostly fully booked for the hotel over the New Year's Eve period. We have a wedding in-house. So we do actually expect this time to be quite busy for us, which we're excited about. We're starting the new year, January 3rd and 4th, that's the first weekend, with a winter wellness event. Again, we're focusing on more, I would say, couples, getaways. The winter wellness event starts with a stretch or welcome yoga on Saturday night. And then there's 4 events that are really tied to wellness in general on Sunday. It's a group for up to 50 guests, individual booked. We have a similar event this coming weekend as well, and it's actually fully booked. So we're really focusing on more relaxation, wellness. Yeah. I think I learned my short time here, we offer wine tours. Besides some amazing wineries here, I think Finger Lakes just won Wine Enthusiast Wine Area of the Year.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing award. So besides doing the wine tours, there's obviously, as I'm learning now, a really slew of distilleries,
breweries, distilleries, cideries.
Correct. Just within so it's really, if you're looking for some a romantic, curated getaway, I think we're the right destination for you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. For people that live here, it's an option too. It's like a staycation. People will come from different parts of the country or take the 5.5 hour drive up from New York City to experience a weekend getaway at the lake house. But it's also something, you can take a 10 or 15 minute drive, and spend the weekend. And again, like a staycation, but it's just a beautiful way to kind of break up the monotony of the winter, up here in the Finger Lakes, or to, kind of just get a little extra of that holiday spirit during the holiday season. But then when we get into January and February, and you just need to kind of get out of the house and do something different, it would be a great option for, a staycation.
We also have a winter package with Bristol Mountain. We have a partnership with Bristol Mountain, where the package includes the lift pass for 2 adults, and it also includes breakfast. So we would wrap a little breakfast package for you. We have the shuttle service, our hotel shuttle service, that actually would bring you to Bristol Mountain.
Okay.
And then you would pick you up as well. I haven't been yet, but I'm looking forward for some good skiing again. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and like you said, we got some snow this season early, so it should be a nice base for everybody up there on the mountain. You mentioned all the little niches and little locations. In the summer you got the sandbar, and obviously the lakefront is bustling with activity. In the winter, it's quiet. Like, it's one thing, about winter. there's just this stillness and quietness, and I always just felt so comfortable at the lake house in the winter because it's a chance to just slow down a little bit. And you mentioned all these little spots. So even like in the Rose Tavern restaurant, the wood fired oven is makes the whole place smell and feel warm and comfy.
I think it makes a big difference. I agree with you. Thanks for mentioning this. When you walk in the restaurant, you see that fire, that wood-fired grill, basically grilling. I think it just creates a very almost a romantic experience.
Yeah, the romantics is a great word for it. Sometimes I have trouble putting my finger on exactly what it is. And I think when you are at a great venue, hospitality venue, it sometimes is hard to describe or explain, but you can know it and feel it. You like to feel that way when you're on the property, and sometimes you're not exactly sure why, but it's a lot of the small details. And I guess, like, what do you look for? Like, you've been to a lot of different hotels and worked in a lot of different roles in hotels. What did you look at when you came to Canandaigua as some of the things that were done right, or some of the things that maybe you wanted to kind of enhance? Like, was there anything like from your first impressions?
So first of all, I'm incredibly happy, when you work in leadership, right? There's different roles, right? Some of them are change, some of them are major transition, right? Some of them are constructions. I mean, I think the lake house is in a fantastic place. I think there's some really strong leadership there. And I think in my opinion, what makes a real difference in a luxury resort is the staff. And I think our employees, they're just fabulous.
Yeah.
And I think they have, a genuine care. I think that makes for me as being in the hotel industry, I think the biggest difference is what you feel as a guest. You can't always put your finger in it. But if you have a team that genuinely cares for your call it well-being,
Yep.
right? Meaning, they anticipate your needs. It's sometimes those little differences, when the housekeepers put all your bathroom amenities in a nice place, right? And your room is made up nicely. And when you've turned on service, you have some chocolate, some slippers. It's those little details, I think, that really can make a difference. And I think, it's often this, as a guest, you can't really put your finger on it, right? But if you have for the time you arrive to, by the time you leave, if you have these genuine human interactions, they don't have to be overbearing.
Right.
They don't have to be, overly, but just whatever, everybody's different, right? Whatever, it's, I think one of the real opportunities, a real difference for luxury restaurants is really this being able to read the guest. And every guest is different, right?
Sure,
Somebody just wants to come and have a quiet time, right? And others, they want to hear the stories about all these fabulous wineries and breweries, right? So I think having employees who are able to anticipate these needs and able to, detail the experience to your personal needs, I think that makes a huge difference. And I think the lake house has done a great job with that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's to find the type of people, because guests come and go, they're in for a weekend, they're out for a weekend, but the staff is there every day, every month, every day. And so when you build a staff that genuinely likes being there and likes the interaction and likes meeting people and trying to give them the best experience they can, that is probably the most important thing, in elevating a resort like the lake house.
I think I say this often when I go to an orientation with new employees. I think, there's a lot of people with money. They want to build themselves a nice resort and they have the money, right? Because, the one thing about luxury resorts, you got to be willing to invest in the physical product. I mean, it has to be maintained, clean. There's these things that are kind of, they're intangibles, but you have to it starts kind of with the right product. But I think, in my experience, the big difference between hotel to hotel is the employees, what they offer, what they create, the experience they curate. And I think, I really want to, as a big shout out to my team, the hotel won Best Hotel Mid-Atlantic, second Best Hotel Mid-Atlantic by Condé Nast Traveler's Guide.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a reader's survey. It's not a audit agency that comes and audits you. That's actually feedback we receive from the guests. So really kudos to the team for, walking the talk and achieving this. I think that's incredible success for the team.
Yeah, I grew up here, and I've seen, I graduated from high school in 1990. I've seen the industry, the hospitality industry and the wine industry, just kind of grow and become, what it's become today. Like it's consistent growth through the years and through the decades. And one thing that I don't know, that might have been missing until recently is the kind of upscale resort. You want to come to the Finger Lakes. You don't want to stay in the Holiday Inn. And we might have lacked a little bit of those types of amenities. I think of like the Aurora Inn in Cuba County. A new spa opened in Skinny Atlas recently, but the lake house is like the ultimate. And I think it's a good part of the reason is because of the size. It's a big location and a big property, and so it makes it kind of unique, and the position right there on the north end of Canandaigua Lake.
I think what's nice about it is that it feels, once you arrive and you enter through the door, it's kind of like you just see the lake. And
Immediately.
What's convenient is also within walking distance or a shuttle, you actually have some really nice local restaurants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think there's great restaurants on property. Right?
Yes.
Between Roast Heaven, I think Santa is obviously a great fun spot, especially during the summer season. But I think most travelers these days they don't just want to eat in the hotel.
Yeah,
right?
they want to go into town and maybe see a little bit of what's going on.
And I think we have the shuttle, but it's really walking distance, right? I mean, there's some great restaurants and breweries you can really walk from the hotel.
Yeah, you can walk along the lakefront to the west or east, and there's some great spots. The Lions, what's the brewery? Lion?
So I mean, the one brewery that kind of sticks out, we have a good partnership with them, is Frequentum. That's
Okay.
more on Main Street.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But there's 2 or 3 breweries, right, to the east. Then we have some partnerships, but some wineries we like to bring our guests to, just such as Ravines.
Oh, yeah. Ravines is one of the good. I love it.
We just had a wine dinner with them, and
Okay.
I thought their wines were fabulous.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I haven't tasted all the local wines yet, so I'm just.
Well, there's a lot of them. You'll be taking a long time to taste them all. But I think Ravines, one of the things that stood out with Ravines for me was some of their red wines. Generally we've been known as a great white wine producing region, especially Rieslings. But I think in the last 4 or 5 years, even like we're starting to get some recognition for the red wines, the Cab Francs, Blanc Frankish, and some Pinot Noirs. And I prefer red wine, so I'm excited to when I find. And Ravines was one of those places that I thought produced an incredible Pinot Noir, and Maximilian is a blend they produce, a red wine blend. But yeah, and so there's so much to explore. Like you could come. It would take a month to visit all the wineries between all the lakes.
It's quite impressive, right? And but when you look at some of the awards, right, I think Ravines had several awards, like top 50 wines, right, in the world, or top 50 Riesling in the world, which is an incredible achievement. I think I won't focus, you asked earlier, some of the other things to focus on. I think, as you continue to grow the resort or build the reputation, I think you just have to continue to curate the experience. So I think one opportunity we started to work on is to include more, start working. I think we have a good relationship with some breweries and wineries. I think I'd like to see us focus on some local distilleries as well, because I think from what I've seen so far, there's some really amazing products locally. So we started to work on that, and we're going to meet with some of the owners hopefully soon and see how we can, work with them, maybe do some, spirit dinners or some bourbon dinners, or there's opportunities for us to continue to focus on the region. And I think, that's really what the customer is looking for. I think, there's so much to offer here, and we telling the story. Our resort helps to tell the story. It's not just the story of the lake house, it's really the story of the region. And that's, I think, is one of our big, as we continue to, curate the resort, that really has to be one of our big focuses, to continue to work with local businesses to elevate the, overall experience for the destination.
Yeah, that's great. So your wife's here with you, right?
Yes,
What does she think of the Finger Lakes?
she loves it.
Does she?
Yeah, as I said earlier, we were ready for some cold weather, and I guess we got what we asked for.
Yeah, well, see if you still feel that way in a couple months. I don't mind the winter until once we get into like mid-January and February, it's like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I like to golf, so that's another downside to the winter. But I do like the change of the seasons, and I do like winter in the Finger Lakes. It's just the second half of winter can move along a little quicker for me sometimes. But being able to, for us in Seneca Falls, to say, hey, let's meet our friends from Rochester halfway. Let's meet them. Let's go to the lake house for dinner at the Rose Tavern, for the library for a few drinks. And it's the type of thing for me that I really look forward to in the winter. And there's after Christmas and stuff, there's not a ton to get too excited about.
We have some. I do think we have some really good local packages or local offerings that I think that are priced reasonable for the winter season. And from what I've learned in my first 5 weeks here, I've met a lot of local guests who join us either, from Rochester, or, who join us for dinner, or who are looking for staycations. So, obviously, this can be all booked online or directly with us. I do think we have some really good offerings that exactly speak to that type of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing what has been done at the lake house, and I'm excited to see under your leadership, see the lake house continue to grow, and in conjunction with, like you say, the whole region. It really is exciting to see everything mature to the level it has now as someone who's lived here his whole life. And it's also exciting to see people come from outside the area and say how much they love it. I had friends from college that would even come up and I'd take them down to the lake, and they'd be like, wow, that you live here. This is, sometimes you take it for granted, I suppose. So it's awesome, that you have the opportunity then to bring these people into the region and really show them, how great it can be. Like, you're really maximizing, I guess, the experience that our guests in the Finger Lakes, are able to enjoy.
That's really our goal, and including, local destinations is really part of that. That's really.
No, Alex, I really appreciate you coming in. Good luck in your new position. I'm sure it'll be great. Is there a website for the lake house?
Yeah, it's the lakehousecanandaigua.com.
Okay, correct. Yeah. And that's where you can also access, we're looking at it right now on the screen. You can also look at that. I mean, it's, again, this is the type of place that you would think, oh man, how incredible in the summer. But winter's a whole experience. There's a shot of some folks in the heated pool, in the middle of winter. It's probably 10 degrees out. I mean, just gorgeous. I think that barn, that last shot of the barn, that's like an event center.
Yes, that's our wedding or event venue. We average about 40 plus weddings a year. It's really, I think it's a beautiful destination for destination weddings. There's a lot of guests who really like to fly in the family and then spend a couple of days in the resort, right, to kind of reconnect with everybody, and same kind of.
Everybody can stay right there. Correct. It's big enough to handle it.
And use what the area has to offer. They can go to a local brewery or a local bar for a welcome drink, or they can use the lake house. So it allows us as a resort to have some great combinations to ensure that every guest feels entertained, and just offer exciting alternatives. So.
Well, that's awesome. Again, thank you for coming in.
I really appreciate it.
And good luck. It was great to meet you.
Thank you.
And you can stop in at the lake house and meet Alex in person. Like I say, whether it's for a weekend getaway or maybe just dinner at the Rose Tavern, or maybe just a drink in they got a couple places you can get a drink. I personally love the library. You'll have a great time, I promise, no matter what time of year. So highly recommend. But thanks for joining us today. Again, we're 1 week away from Christmas. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe, or leave a comment below. We'll be back next Wednesday for a special Christmas Eve edition of FLX Weekly, where I'll be joined by Veronica Ryan of Skinny Atlas. She's going to represent upstate New York in the Miss New York for America Strong pageant in April. We'll have a timely conversation about mental health in the holidays. So hopefully you'll be able to take half an hour out of your day on Christmas Eve before things really kick up for your Christmas Eve celebration and your Christmas Day celebration. So until then, good luck with your holiday prep. Have a great weekend here in the Finger Lakes.